So, the perfect single player storage. The very subjective issue, right? Like, what's perfect for me may not be perfect for you, but this is what I set out to build for myself. These are the criteria I was focused on. Number one, being fast. Number two, sort everything. I didn't want to have a final chest that just held all the things that didn't get sorted. Obviously, you're going to have unstackables and things like that in there, but didn't want to just have one junk chest at the end that everything went into. Number three, I wanted it to be simple. And of course, simple is very hard to say with a complex storage system. I wanted it to be relatively simple. And I wanted it to be unbreakable, meaning if I flew away, if I went in the nether, it wouldn't break. I didn't want to chunk load it because there's way too many hoppers involved, way too much going on. I didn't want to put it in spawn chunks. So basically, if I leave the area, it just pauses and it doesn't break. That was a goal. Number five, I didn't want it to hold 41 items in each filter. I don't like having 41 beacons or 41 nether stars or anything like that just being inaccessible. I wanted to hold between 1 and 5 would be fine. Number six, I wanted to load shulkers. I realized it takes a lot of space to load a shulker, detect it when a shulker is full, break the shulker, pick up the broken shulker and then store the shulker. But I wanted to have some kind of medium between like a lazy loading shulker system to where the items went in a shulker and that's it. When the shulker got full, it was kind of the player's responsibility to handle it after that fact, just for space concerns. And number seven, I wanted to have storage for loose items and full shulker boxes in the same area. Not the same storage box, but same close by. And number eight, I didn't want to use too many signs or item frames just for lag reasons. So with those reasons, I set out to make the perfect storage system for myself. Everybody's familiar with the 41 item filter, or Impulse SV's original item filter. Holds 41 of your item and then 4 filter blocks. So that means it can gulp, we're going to say, 23 items at a time. When it does, it drains down into the storage at hopper speed. I've got this locked right now to show you that the highest signal here you're ever going to get is a 1, either a 0 or a 1. That's all you're ever going to get here, and that's why you can't do like this. You can't, if you wanted it to hold less, you can't put more of these in here, because whenever this gets full, now you've got a 2 here. 2 bleeds over to the next row, activates the next row, and then this one's just dropping down from 41 to 10. Sooner or later, this will just drain all the items from this one. Why is it not draining? Because we got a lever there. See, it's going to drain that, and then your filter's broken. It's just going to pick up the next stuff that comes through, whatever it is. That's the reason you can't do like that. So you have to have 1 there and 41 there. That's pretty much what you're stuck with on this one. So looking through some forums, found what's called an overstacked hopper item filter. All right, it only holds 1 of your item instead of 41 in the top filter. It's a little bit different looking. 2 comparators at least. A container here, either a cauldron or a composter. You could use a chest or a hopper as well, but we're trying to keep it cheap. The way this works is kind of weird. You've got 1 of your item there. You've got a double stacked, non-stackable item here, another unstackable here, another stackable here, and then your filter items here. 62 in this situation. Sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 63. Just depends on basically how many comparators you have. So this system can actually gulp 63, where the other one could only gulp 23, right? So it can take in a lot more. It's still hopper speed. It's not faster, but if you're running items over this in a water stream, it can pick up more each time. Okay, this is going to drain down to 1. We're all good there. So the question you may be asking is, how do you get this? It's pretty simple. We'll go over here. We'll go into career survival. You just grab 2 of these books, slap them on this guy, and there you go. You're stacked up. You push shift and click to move these things around. You don't drag and drop them, because if you do, then you can't put them down. But if you shift and click them, you can move them wherever you want to. Or you can go, what? 1, 2. Yeah, basically. So that's how you get that. Get yourself a Void Trader. You can knock the price of this down to 1 emerald really quick, and then you can buy as many as you want. Okay, so that's great. We've got a good filter for our system now, and we're getting halfway there. One of the ways to get all these items into your system fast is to use a bunch of droppers. We have actual dispensers here, but ignore that, they're droppers. You just use 8 of them or so, and then you're dropping items pretty quick into a water stream, right? Another way you can do this is if you want to shulker yeet, which this is lovingly called. You can just drop full shulkers in there like that. And yeah, we're just dropping millions of items per minute into the water stream. But you lose your shulker box. So, shulker farm, thank God we have those finally. You can do something like that. Alright, so we're putting a lot of items into a water stream, running it over a lot of filters. What happens after 5 minutes of these items being in a water stream of not being picked up by hoppers? Well, that's where the lovely dolphin comes into play. You put him somewhere in your system and he'll just refresh the despawn timer on all your items. Not much else to be said there. This is how it's configured. You got a spike above him, you got a wall behind him, ice, trapdoor, soul sand with water source in it, so he's able to breathe water and air. And he'll just pick up a lot of stuff per minute. I don't calculations, who knows. So, right, we've got that. Now we want to have a tileable system that we can tile as many filters as we want. And I was able to get 3 tall to where you can actually reach each one in survival. You got your shulker here that actually gets the items put into it. When this gets full, the player is responsible for breaking that box, replacing it, and putting the full shulkers in here. Alright, gold goes in there, this gets full, break it, put it down here. Iron gets full, break it, put it down there. There's just not enough room to actually have a detection system for the shulker boxes being full, break them, pick them up. You would have to have hoppers underneath, you'd have to have pistons everywhere. There's just no way to do that in a simple system like this. So this is the same overstacked item filter that we showed earlier. I used shears on this one because they're much easier to craft when you're doing mass. But we've got a few more comparators here and there just to make this work and tileable and all this good stuff. So in my system, I used 300 of these, 100 of them on each branch of my system. So that's a total of 900 of these. I needed to buy a lot of books from villagers to get that work. There's roughly 900 to 1,000 items in the game of Minecraft, if you don't count all the different million types of banners there are, and the tipped arrows and things like that. Potions can't be sorted like this anyway. So here we have my layout. Got 300 on this aisle, 300 on that aisle, 300 on that aisle, laid out how I chose to lay them out. We have our unloader here. We have 2 shulker boxes and 2 barrels. The reason for this is you can't put a barrel, you can't put a shulker box in a shulker box. So this is just for loose items. Where's the shulker box? Yeah, you can just do this and it'll take everything except for your shulker boxes, because you can't put those in shulker boxes. And then if you had shulker boxes, you just pop it in the barrel and it gets yeeted. We heard it. There he goes. All this stuff just goes up into water streams and elevators and runs over. It would if I didn't break it. Would run over all my filters. Okay. I've timed the system. It goes over the top, down one row, over the middle, down one row, over the bottom, and then up the top, back and forth, all the rows. And that takes about 2.5 minutes in this particular system to run over this many filters. After that, there is a dolphin up above us. Picks up all the items, recirculates them for another round. Because basically each hopper can't pick up more than a stack each time, right? Where are the hoppers? Anyway. You can't pick up more than a stack of this item. And if you had 10 stacks in there, then the other 9 stacks would go around the system and then come back around for another stack to get picked up. Let's see, what else is there? I've got soul sand under here. So soul sand, soul speed boots work really nice along with speed 2. Guess we should be in survival. Under all this, we have the same 8 droppers that I displayed a minute ago, with some detection systems showing when it gets full. This is a system over here that uses a despawn timer of an item to, that's not here, unlock a hopper to pick stuff up that's been going around the system for quite a long time. There's actually another dropper over here. So it's a 10-minute timer. After 10 minutes, if things haven't gotten picked up by the hoppers, then I want them to get picked up by, you know, like an unstackable hopper. So that's how I do that. The maximum throughput of this is somewhere over 8 million items per hour being sorted. Now, if you dropped 8 million cobblestone in there, it's not going to sort that much. You would have to have specific amounts of each item so that each filter can be picking that up. But it's a nice number, 8 million items per hour if you pick the right items to throw in there. You know, 1 stack of everything equally. It holds, you know, 27, 28 shulkers times 900 different filters. You can actually add some more right here if you've got a lot of extra stone or cobblestone. I didn't even do the math on that. That's several million itself. Some of this is having to be using waterlogged stairs to make sure that the stuff doesn't die. Mojang is making some changes to where a lot of these items on the sides of shulker boxes are going to pop off whenever you open the shulker box, which really, that was something they were concerned about. Like, all my pressure plates are going to pop off. In 19.3, I think these are gonna pop off. I'm just like, why? My rails might pop off, I don't know. Scaffolding will pop off. Torches actually pop off now. I'm like, why was that important? But whatever. They decided it was important. It's really gonna mess me up here. Might have to move some things around. There's not much else going. These are just regular little item elevators, nothing crazy there. I've got 4 hopper mine carts under this shulker, 4 under this shulker. Then I have 8 under this to bring these two together. And then I have 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here to separate them into the 16 hoppers below. Of course, aligned with ender chests and whatnot. Oh, well, that was kind of dumb. Okay, that's all I can think of. So this is what we're using in this system. One slice of it. All right, that's all I got.